Good evening, I'm Connie Lindsey, rewired executive from Northern Trust. It is so good to be here with everybody tonight, and fellow class of 2001. I started when I was 14. But my mission here tonight is to introduce my dear friend, Andrés Tapia. We were just chatting about that. I can't remember a time when I didn't know Andrés or know of him. And I certainly knew of him long before we met. And when I think of our friendship, I think of it as me having been a traveler on a shared journey with him. We have been colleagues and collaborators in work that requires courage, conviction, and commitment. We seek to build bridges to understanding in areas that require transformation. Andrés has used his intellect, his passion, and his authenticity in helping others to cross the bridges leading to understanding who we are as a whole. Or to paraphrase Andrés, with our race, our ethnicity, our identities, and our cultures being viewed as assets. Our mutual goal of building leaders and influencing corporate cultures to build teams that are stronger because they learn to value the diversity within them through inclusion, justice, and equity is the work of Andrés' life. This is a journey without end, recognizing the humanity and gifts in each of us while honoring and celebrating our unique differences. Andrés has been a friend, a colleague, and a collaborator. And tonight, he's being recognized for almost a decade of taking LGC and Burnham Fellows, and I do want to give a shout out to the Burnham Fellows of 21 who had their experience remotely. But also, Andrés has done that work through the journey of race, identity, inclusion, and building economic inclusion. Work that is not easy, work that requires transparency, authenticity, and love to be effective and sustainable. Through this work, Andrés has touched the lives of over 450 fellows, and every fellow in this room has experienced that discussion, that session that causes us to open up. And I like to think that once we are broken open, that gives us the opportunity to transform ourselves. So before I introduce Andrés, there is a poem by Antonio Machado, and one of the stanzas is as follows. Caminante no hay camino, se hace camino al andar. And translated in English, it means, traveler, there is no road. The path is made by walking. Andrés, thank you for walking and making the path for so many of us. Please join me in recognizing Andrés Tapia.
Buenas noches. First of all, I want to recognize all the fellow award recipients. I'm honored to be in your company. You know, the writer in me had to write. So I wrote something for us and for you all. Every day that we turn on our smartphones, we face a choice to meet the day with either a deficit or an asset-grounded mindset. In fact, the news pings us all day long with reminders of all that is wrong, in deficit, underprivileged, disadvantaged, minority. As leaders, of course, we must face the bad news and be poised and ready to protect people, places, and budgets. But it's not doom scrolling that's going to save the world. It's courageous optimism that will. So what is courageous optimism? In our work at Korn Ferry on what inclusive leadership looks like, what it takes in our inner selves and in our actions, this is what we've learned about this particular quality. Courageous optimism is not clueless. Rather, it's an optimism that faces the grim with grit. Courageous optimism sees people, teams, organizations, and cities not by what they don't have, but rather as brimming with the assets that they do have. Courageous optimism is grounded by confidence that while we may not know the right answer yet, that we together will get to the best answer. Courageous optimism is fueled by a curiosity of learning about those around us, that the more we learn about them and their assets, the greater our hope is that we can face the storm and build for a better tomorrow. Courageous optimism looks at people and says, I see you. I value you. We need you. Courageous optimism, for the many of us who have had near-death experiences, that because we are still here means we know there's much we can still do to keep transforming the world. Because an optimist says, why not? Why not now? And why not us? What are you going to do hoy día, today, to make a way where there is no way? And as we say in my native Peru, se hace el camino al andar. We make our path as we walk it. Lots that we can delve into on what has gone wrong. But I call us to dwell on what we can do right. I'm so very honored to be receiving this recognition from my fellow LGC all of you, inclusive leaders. Muchas gracias. Adelante, forward.